will be punished. You will be cleansed.
Time to prepare the punch.
To the highest.
Everyone here is brainwashed. I have no one.
You have me.
We have one small issue. She was plotting to kill the highest.
I run it.
When he is angry,
I run it.
he is violent.
I run it. I run it. I run it. I run it.
This whole place will be violent.
I love the chaos.
What's going on, fam? It's your man, VACAY-J. And if you're new and you're loving Ruthless, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely like. Comment below with any theories, any thoughts. And absolutely today, we're going to cover Season 2, Episode 10. We're going to recap this and break it down for all of you again. If you missed anything, definitely make sure you get caught up before we get into this right here. So let's cover and do the recap for Episode 10. Now, the name of this episode is My Brother's Keeper. It says Daikon catches Lacey and Paula upon their second attempt to escape and punishes them along with Elder Agnes, who is responsible for them. The highest becomes concerned that no one has seen Lilo and he questions Joan. So let's go ahead and do the recap for Episode 10 for Ruthless. Now, we find Lacey and Paula and the other girl, they're in the kitchen. They're cooking some things up, and they're talking about trying to escape and how they're going to escape. They really want to get out of there. And of course, they're talking about the car in the back. They're talking about Lilo's car in the back and getting in that car and making their way out of there. Lacey got the keys from Oliver. So now they're really trying to formulate a plan to get out of there. So Elder Mother Agnes comes in there and she's talking to the girls. And, they definitely saying, how Lacey's cooking up some good stuff. It smells good and everything. You see Elder Mother Marva, she comes in there as well. And she's like, yeah, she should cook for the highest, because she's cooking that good. It smells that good. The food is coming out really great. So, of course, Lacey's feeling all that, saying, yes, Elder Mother and all this and that. And so, Elder Mother Marva's like, yeah, we're going to get things ready for the highest. Why don't you come with me? So, they're talking about it. And the other girl's like, hey, you know what, Elder Mother Marva, I would love to help out and help you cook. I want to learn from you and learn how to cook for the highest. So she's like, okay, we're going to go in there. Just keep your head down. Don't look at him. Right. So she lets her go with her to get the highest's breakfast together. So now Paula's like, hey, listen, here's our chance. Let's get out of here. And she's talking to Lacey, and Lacey's like, okay, I got the keys. Let's go and get up out of here. Let's find a way to get this car and make our way out of this camp. So they both go to the car. The car's in the back, like way in the back. That's where, Oliver parked it. And they're looking around, making sure nobody sees them. But they smell something like, what's that smell? It smells crazy. And what they don't know is that those bodies, Lilo's body is in the trunk. And also the boy's body is in the trunk as well. So they're like, all right, we got to figure out what time to get out of here because, everybody's awake right now. Maybe we should do this at night. So Paula and Lacey's just trying to figure it out and all of that. And as they're talking, guess who rolls up? That's right, your boy Daikon. And Daikon's like, yo, what are you doing back here? And at first they're like, well, we're looking for the bathroom. And he's like, the bathroom's nowhere near here. What is going on? So Paula comes out of nowhere and she's about to speak and say something, right? She's thinking of what to say to Daikon. And while she's thinking of something, your girl Lacey is like, oh, I'm sorry, we're sorry. And she gets on her knees. She's begging for forgiveness. Please forgive us. She's like, get up, get up. So again, I'm going to ask you, what were you doing back here? So Paula comes up with something like, oh, I needed charcoal, for my throat. And also now he said, okay, where's the charcoal at? Show me where the charcoal is at. And she can't tell him. So he's like, listen, I'm going to take you out to the punishment room. So Andrew comes. And Andrew comes because he knows what's in the trunk, right? And he's like, hey, Daikon, is everything all right? I'm just doing my rounds. He's like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm just going to take these girls to the punishment room and everything's all right. So again, Andrew's trying to be on the lookout because he doesn't want Daikon to find out that Lilo's body and the boy is in the trunk. So again, Andrew is just trying to make sure nobody gets to this car and find out there's dead bodies in the trunk. All right. Now we go to the FBI office and we see Matt. And Matt gets a phone call from the sheriff, right? The sheriff over there near the VACAYJAYTV camp. And he's like, hey, listen, you need to talk to your boy, Brian. I'm offended. You know, Brian is saying that I'm down with the Raku when I'm not. And Mac is like, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. He's like, yeah, you need to call him and get him to apologize to me, right? So Brian is on his way and he's going to the VACAYJAYTV camp. He's trying to save these people. You know, he's on a mission, but he's going by himself with no backup. Mac gives him a call and says, hey, listen, what are you doing? He's like, I'm on my way to, you know, save these people. And Mac is like, listen, turn back right now. You're going to mess up the investigation. You're going to blow Andrew's cover, you know, and you need to apologize to the sheriff because he's not down with the Raku. Of course, Brian is frustrated. And again, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's just kind of frustrated about everything going on with his wife as well. So now we got the elder mothers and Daikon comes over with Lacey and Paula. He's like, listen, these girls were trying to steal charcoal from the highest, you know, the charcoals for the highest. So, of course, they'll, you know, Paula's like, hey, listen, it's not, you know, Lacey's fault. You know, don't blame Lacey. You know, the charcoal was for my throat. Remember, I drank that bleach and the charcoal helps my throat get better, right? Just making up stuff, right? She's already fine. But elder mother Agnes goes over and she's like, you know, what is going on? And she slaps Paula like, you shouldn't be stealing from the highest. You know, this is definitely not a good thing. And Marva is in charge of both of them because they stay in her trailer. So Daikon says, you know what? Go to the punish room. And he's like, you too, Agnes, go to the punishment room because I'm going to punish all of you. You're like, you're responsible for these girls and they shouldn't have been out. They were supposed to be in the kitchen or whatever. Well, you're responsible, so you're going to get the punishment as well. So, of course, elder mother Agnes, she's just like, please don't, you know, I don't need to be doing that. Like, I'll punish them. Don't worry. He's like, no, go now. Go to the punishment room. I'm going to punish all of you. Go and wait for me there. Of course, elder mother Marva, she's real upset. And she's like, well, we're down 2. And she's talking to Ruth and Tally. And she's like, hey, both of y'all get it going. We're going to get breakfast for the highest. So now the highest is meditating, right? And Daikon comes into the highest's trailer. And he's talking to him about what's going on. They're trying to figure out, you know, what Lilo's car is doing in the back, right? So he, you know, Daikon is telling the highest, hey, Lilo's car is here. And from what Oliver told us, you know, he got a ride. Somehow he caught a ride. He parked his car in the back. You know, doesn't sound like a good lie, but, you know, they're trying to figure out why Lilo's car has been there all that time. It's been there for a long time. And they can't find Lilo either. So they say, you know what, let's figure it out. How about we sit down and have breakfast? So the highest is inviting, you know, Daikon to sit down with him to have some breakfast. All right. So now they sit down, you know, they look like they're about to have a good time or whatever, but they're still talking about concerns about Lilo and everything else like that. All right. Now we shoot over to see Cynthia and Lynn, and they're talking, and Cynthia's checking on Lynn. But, you know, Lynn is definitely in her moods. You know, she's definitely using, and, you know, Lynn is just going in and she's wilding out, right? So, you know, Cynthia is upset because, you know, her husband, Malcolm, has been sleeping around. And turn around, Lynn says, you know what? I even slept with your husband as well. So she's like, nah, you didn't sleep with him. Nah, stop playing. She's like, yeah, I did. It was on Easter and I still have his underwear. So, you know, Cynthia's like, I was wondering why he was jogging with no underwear on Easter, right? On Easter. So she's figuring it out and she's like, yo, it must be true. And she's like, you know what? You're foul. You know, you're foul, Lynn. You just real foul. You know, you're supposed to be my cousin. You're supposed to be family and you real foul. You're just trying to get at me for whatever reason because you just want to use and you want me to leave. You know, I'm done with you. I'm pretty much done with you because you just real foul. And that's definitely real foul to be sleeping with your cousin's husband. Crazy, right? So now we have Daikon and the highest. And again, they're eating breakfast, trying to figure things out. You know, again, trying to figure out where Lilo is. And they call in Joan. And Joan is just like, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? You know, and they're also questioning Joan like, hey, you know, we noticed that Lilo's car is still here. And the highest is asking Joan, hey, you know, do you know anything about this? Do you know if he left with somebody? And she's like, no, I don't know anything about that. I didn't even know his car was here. And then, you know, he's also asking, well, how our books are looking, right? Because, you know, she handles the books for the camp. And she's like, yeah, everything is looking well. Everything's looking fine. Again, you know, the cartel, they're using the VACAYJAYTV camp to do money laundering and everything else like that. So, of course, Daikon is just still questioning things. He's like, I'm going to find out what's going on. I'll let you know what's happening with this car and everything. So we see your boy Oliver roll up to Clark. He's outside the highest's place. He's like, I'm back. Yeah. And Clark is like, hey, have you handled the mission? You know, is everything done? Is everything finished? Of course, Oliver's like, yes, everything is finished. Everything is done. But he doesn't really want to tell. He wants to tell the highest. So he goes in to talk to the highest and he lets the highest know, hey, everything is done. Everything is complete. Right now, what we know now is that Oliver was the one that shot Andrew's wife. Right. They sent him on a mission because they found out that Andrew's wife wasn't dead. So, you know, the highest is going back and forth with him to say, OK, good job. You know, you've been up for 36 hours. Go ahead and get some rest. You know, and we'll talk more about this once you get up, and good job. So he's, you know, definitely saying, hey, good job. He definitely completed the mission for the Raku, right, which was killing Andrew's wife. Wow. Crazy, right? So Daikon again, he's still questioning what's going on. And he asked Oliver about Lilo's car. And he says, yeah, he got a ride and everything else like that. All right. So now at the sheriff's office and we see Detective Brian and he's making a phone call and he's calling Cynthia, right? And he was supposed to be there for Cynthia, but he got caught up trying to go to the Raku camp. He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, what's going on? And Cynthia's like, did you know that, you know, your wife slept with my husband? He's like, no, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know any of that. Like, she's really wilding out. Like, you know, Lynn is bugging out. She's using drugs and she's doing some crazy stuff. So he apologized to her and they said, we're going to figure all this out. So now we got Ruth and we got Marva and we got Tally. And they're talking to, you know, Elder Mother Marva to see if she can go to the highest and convince him not to torture, you know, Elder Mother Agnes and the girls, right? Lacey and Paula. So they're trying to convince her and gas her up. They're gaslighting her and saying, hey, you know, the highest loves you. You can do it. You can make it happen. So hopefully she does. Now we got Cynthia and we got Malcolm. And Malcolm comes to the house. You know, she kicked him out a while ago. She's like, what are you doing here? I'm here to get, you know, my stuff. And she's like, when did you sleep with Lynn? And why did you sleep with Lynn? And he's, of course, in denial. He's like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't sleep with anybody. And she's like, yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because you was running without drawers on Easter. And you came home running without drawers on Easter. You know, you went out for a jog. I was wondering what was going on. You know, you foul, you this, you that. So they're going back and forth. He's like, listen, I'm going to come back when you're not here. And she's like, listen, I'm going to be here. I'm always going to be here. And he's calling her a drunk and all this and that. You know, they're just going really back and forth. It's a really toxic relationship. Like, it's the worst relationship that you could ever be in. You know, this guy's sleeping around and she knows it and he doesn't even care. He doesn't even care. So now we go back to the camp and we see Andrew talking to Oliver. And, you know, he sees that Oliver's back. He's like, okay, you're back. You got the mission done. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I got it done. And, you know, he's questioning Andrew because Andrew said that he killed his wife. But turn around. He's like, listen, man, I just want to let you know they're after you, bro. And they onto you because I went ahead and killed your wife. So he tells Andrew that he killed his wife. And, of course, Andrew has to play it off like, oh, for real. But you can see in his eyes, he's really upset that he did that, you know. So he's like, yo, what's going on with that car? You got to get that car out of here. So, you know, they're going back and forth about the car. But really, Andrew, you can see on his face, he's really torn up about that. So Oliver leaves. Your boy Andrew, he is totally upset. Like, he didn't want his wife to be killed. He wanted to stage it like he did, but they found out that, you know, he didn't do it. So, of course, they're going to be on to him. So he's worried about that. He's stressed out about that. But he's also upset that Oliver went ahead and killed his wife in the shower, man. Like, you know, he's definitely messed up about all of this. Like, he's in so deep. He's going to need a lot of therapy after this. So we got Elder Mother Marva, and she went ahead, listened to Ruth and Tally, and now she's at the highest's doorstep trying to get in to try to convince him. Of course, Clark is like, listen, he doesn't want to see you. And they're like, yeah, we knew that you was coming. And Daikon said he didn't want you to come and see the highest. Right. So she's like, what? He loves me. He wants to see me. So she's just going to stand out there until they let her in. Now we got in the punishment room with, you know, Elder Mother Agnes. She's upset. She's like, I can't believe I'm here. I shouldn't be here. You girls are doing a lot of things and all of this and that. And she goes ahead and she starts slapping, you know, Paula and Lacey. And, you know, Lacey's like, yo, you gonna stop slapping me. You gonna stop doing all this and that, because they both in the punishment room, right? So it looks like they about to get at it. And what happens? Yes, Lacey goes ahead and she starts to attack elder mother Agnes. They get into a fight. You know, they get into a scuffle. Paula jumps in. They hold her down. Next thing you know, now Marva is out. Like, is she dead? Is she really dead? We don't know. It looks like she's dead, but it looks like they killed elder mother Agnes in the punishment room. What is going to happen now when Daikon finds out? What is going to go down? Well, we shall see in the next episode of Ruthless. So this was episode 10. Another crazy episode, but it's just heating up. This is really mild, actually. This is really a mild episode. We're going to see what happens in the next episode, episode 11. So look out for that recap. Definitely go ahead and give us your thoughts, your theories below. And again, you know what it is. It's your man, VACAY-J. I'm out. Salute.